Oh yeah, what's up, bro?
What the hell's wrong with you? Where have you been? I haven't seen you since the Super Bowl.
Yeah, totally checked out the Super Bowl. So boring. Halftime, I just checked out, fell asleep ever since. The Falcons are blowing away the Patriots. There's no way they're coming back.
You do know that the Patriots won, right? Tom Brady led the comeback. The Patriots won the Super Bowl, right?
You almost had you almost you almost had me.
Believe whatever you want to believe, man. Well, what do you think of the Vikings draft and the whole Adrian Peterson thing? You know, the whole offseason?
Training camp starting now?
Yeah. Where have you been?
Well, what did I miss?
Well, if you made it past my cringiest intro, hello Vikings fans, Jay back here again with another Vikings video, and I thought to recap the whole Vikings offseason would be the most fun done, and we do it right at the end. So the offseason is over, training camp's beginning, so if for anybody that's like him, that haven't been up to check, haven't seen everything that's been happening, I'm going to do a breakdown of everything that's happened thus far. I'm not going to go too in-depth in each and every event because I did individual videos on those. If you want more speculation on each one, or maybe even highlights for some videos that I've done that, you can check that on my channel. Otherwise, let's get to it. What's a better place to start the video than the first month of the year? So let's start in January, and more specifically January 2nd. So we signed a bunch of reserve contracts, and these will be a lot of camp bodies. So we signed defensive tackle Sterling Bailey. We signed Mobo, Kyle Carter, wide receiver Caleb Jones, offensive tackle Marquise Lucas, quarterback Trey Robertson, running back Bishop Stankley, offensive tackle Austin Shepard, safety Cedric Thompson. So those are a bunch of reserve contracts. Of course, those are guys going to be fighting. Might make the 53. Don't count on it. Might have a lot better odds to make the practice squad. January 4th, signed offensive tackle Reed Fraggle, kicker Marshall Cohen, punter Taylor Shemak, and two more reserve contracts. January 20th, named Kennedy Palomalu, running back coach, Clancy Burgone, tight end coach, Pat Shermer, offensive coordinator, and Kevin Stefanski, quarterback coach. So the big name there is, of course, Pat Shermer, being moved to the full-time offensive coordinator. He, of course, took over after Norv left last year. Next, January 27th, named Amy Becker, Bridget Brennan, Barbara Butts Williams, Tammy Cross, Sheila Oliver, Jennifer Smith, Lindsay Wasagi to the newly created Vikings Women's Advisory Board. So they're going to do a lot more women-friendly things for the Vikings. I don't know a whole lot about that. If you guys know something, comment in the comment section down below. Moving on to February 10th, released Brandon Fusco and Mike Harris. I thought Mike Harris was a solid run-blocking guard, and too bad he was injured last year. Fusco was just bad. I don't know if he had something bad with him, if he was injured. He was great in 2012, and he was one of the starting offensive linemen that helped Adrian Peterson get the 2,000 yards rushing, but he's been awful since, and for a guy that we gave a lot of money to sneak out that bad, I think you could make a debate that he's worse than Matt Khalil. Moving on, we'll talk about Matt Khalil later on. Oh, or I'll completely forget about it. He actually got signed with the Panthers. Moving on, February 23rd, named Rail Hazel, wide receivers coach, and Derek Hayes to assistant training and conditioning coach. The strength and conditioning coach is a bigger news article than you might say. When the Vikings have had a lot of pectoral injuries, it's very important that we have a good coach in there, and hopefully this guy will have a lot better training regimen so the Vikings are a lot more can get stronger but don't get injured. March 1st, declined to exercise their 2017 option on Adrian Peterson. So now this is a drama. This is where you see the headline. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this. This is where the headlines start. Oh no, Adrian Peterson's not a Viking. March 6th, the retirement of Chad Greenway, the longtime Minnesota Vikings. Chad Greenway is done. Flew from that sunset, a fantastic career in Minnesota. Expect him in the Ring of Honor. On March 10th, signed offensive tackle Riley Reef and Mike Remmers. Riley Reef is, of course, the prized possession of that day, and he'll be the starting left tackle for the years to come. Mike Remmers, more of a plug-in for right tackle. and expect some competition, but there's a really good chance he'll be starting there, and it's still an upgrade from what we had there last year. So I think a very successful day, March 10th. March 14th, the next experimental signing, signed defensive end Dayton Jones. He's listed as a defensive end in the news. I expect him to play in the 3 technique for the Vikings. That is, of course, the spot right next to Linval Joseph, where you can expect a more lighter-footed defensive tackle like the Shreve Floyd. He'll be a guy that can either compete for a backup role behind Shreve Floyd, or if Floyd continues to be unhealthy, then he can come in there and have a chance to start. A very interesting pick. Could be very good. March 16th, agree to terms with Terrence Newman. I don't know if it's a more agree to terms or convince Newman to not retire, because he's still got stuff into him. He was the Vikings' #1 Pro Football Focus ranked player, so despite him being extremely old, he's going to be a very good part of our offense. Doesn't matter if he's the #2 corner, #3, or even #4, he'll play a vital role on our defense. Especially because Captain Munnerlyn got signed by the Panthers. Keep going. One of the biggest signings that I thought I was very excited was for signed running back Latavius Murray, also on March 16th. And March 21st, my birthday, we signed Adam Thielen to a 3-year extension. Those 2 picks, very good for our offense. Look for Murray to start at least the first couple of games, and he will lead our team in rushing touchdowns. Adam Thielen, a fantastic wide receiver. You guys all know him. He'll be over the 1,000-yard mark this year. On March 31st, signed wide receiver Mitch Matthews, quarterback Terrell Stinkfield, and tight end Nick Truesdale. Those are more camp bodies. April 3rd, signed quarterback Case Keenum and punter Ryan Queerly. Case Keenum will probably be the Vikings' main backup at the beginning of the year. He did start a few games with the Rams, I believe, last year. And the punter, well, who knows what punters are, but hopefully he can get the ball off his foot and give us a nice field position. 24th, offensive Jake Long announced his retirement. It was an experiment last year. He played 1 good game, but then got injured again. A good career overall for the long time onto offensive tackle. May 1st, exercise some options. Exercise the 5th-year option on Anthony Barr. Agreed to terms with defensive end Tayshawn Bowser, defensive tackle Dylan Bradley, offensive tackle Avante Collins, offensive tackle Nick Fett, defensive end Caleb Kidler, quarterback Wes Lunt, defensive end Sam Meskill, running back Terrell Newby, tight end Josiah Price, cornerback Horace Richardson, wide receiver RJ Shelton, linebacker Sean Washington, and linebacker Eric Wilson. The only name, of course, I'm sure almost all of you only recognize as Anthony Barr. Getting his 5th-year options, a pretty big deal when he had somewhat of a letdown year last year, although he still went to the Pro Bowl popularity contest, but whatever. May 4th, released defensive tackle Charlene Bailey, tackle Marquise Lucas, and safety Cedric Thompson. Those were some earlier, so we already had their full story, and we're only in May. May 9th, named Tina Holmes chief and staff of the strategic advisor. May 10th, signed wide receiver Michael Floyd, waived tackle Nick Fett. Michael Floyd! We'll have more on him in the future of this video, so probably a good time to say that. I forgot to say Cordell Patterson got signed by the Raiders. Keep going! Tune for more Michael Floyd news. May 16th, waived defensive end BJ DeBoose, signed offensive lineman Freddie Talagola. May 17th, waived to defensive tackle Toby Johnson, signed defensive tackle Will Sutton. Will Sutton, I think, is a very sneaky good pick late in free agency. I think he could contribute and be a very good backup defensive tackle for the Vikings, who last year, their run defense fell apart a little bit last year. So as much depth that we can get at defensive tackle is very good. And now we get to the draft. I will list these and the ones that signed first and talk briefly about each one. I did a full draft recap you can see on my channel. I'll put it on the screen right now. So on May 25th, we signed wide receiver Rodney Adams and defensive end Ifedi Idabua. Rodney Adams will probably be our kick returner and a very speedy wide receiver. A Cordell Patterson replacement, really. Signed defensive tackle Drilla Johnson, linebacker Ben Gideon, and guard Danny Isidora. Jaleel Johnson looking like a really good, solid 3 technique. Ben Gideon, a very good tackle linebacker, I believe from Michigan. I'll look for him to be the starting middle linebacker. And Danny Isidora, a guy that can compete for a guard spot in the future. Signed wide receiver Stacy Coley, Pat Efline, tight end Bucky Hodges, Elijah Lee, Jack Toko, Tommy Armstrong, and wide receiver Mitch Matthews. So this is Pat Efline, a very good center guard hybrid. Look for him to start this year and many years to come. A very solid 3rd round pick. Bucky Hodges could be a very fantastic tight end. Needs to work on his blocking, but his receiving skills very top notch. He has a Jimmy Graham type ceiling. Stacy Coley looks like a solid 7th round wide receiver, and all the guys are somewhat bland. And the biggest prize of the draft, May 31st, we signed our 2nd round pick, 1st round talent. People say top 5 offensive skill player in the draft, running back Dalvin Cook, the real Adrian Peterson replacement. Look for him to lead the team in rushing yards. So I have Cook with more rushing yards, but I'll give Murray more red zone carries. He'll get more touchdowns. June 23rd, named Mark Oramara, strength and conditioning coach. Now we have another one. And July 21st, signed defensive tackle Chunky Clemens, Wave defensive end Caleb Kidder. So those are our transactions in 2017. Now let's get to some news headlines. Adrian Peterson signed with the Saints. So he's gone and he's on most Vikings fans' most hated teams. So that's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. Michael Floyd came to the Vikings, of course. Then he got tested positive for alcohol in his system when he was on alcoholic probation. So the NFL gave him a 4-game suspension, and the Vikings don't look like they're challenging it at all. Michael Floyd can still appeal it, but I think he should just take the first 4. I think Laquan Treadwell will step in nicely there. But those has been the news. Mike Zimmer has also said that if Michael Floyd lied about how he got the alcohol in his system, he can be cut immediately. So Zim is not very happy with Floyd either. So those are the main news headlines, and also the fact that Mike Zimmer is going through his eye problems. I forgot to mention this because I'm stupid, but he had to get more surgeries. It looks like he's doing better now. So don't look for him to miss any more games. Hopefully, cross your fingers on this one. For the 2017 offseason, let's see what's your guys' favorite story. Is it the signing of Dalvin Cook, drafting him? I think that was it could be a very good pick for the future. I think Riley Reeves might be the most initial impact for the Vikings, because having a strong left tackle is going to help the Vikings a ton instead of having TJ Clemmings there last year. There we have it, and we'll see you guys in the next 0Z Vikings video. See ya.